Hello.
Hi, is this Shivani?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Shivani. This is Fiona from Unacademy.
Oh, hi, Fiona.
Hi, Shivani. So, first of all, I would like to congratulate you for clearing the civil service exam.
Thank you so much, Fiona.
Perfect. So, Shivani, I have some very quick questions that we have from learners based on your preparation and strategy, which I'm sure is going to help a lot of our learners as well as the aspirants who are preparing for their prelims this year.
Yeah, sure. If it is helpful for the future aspirants, I'll be definitely happy to answer them.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Shivani. So, coming to the first, wanting to know a bit about, how long was your preparation? Was this your first attempt, and whether you did more of self-preparation or did you, go to a coaching center?
Okay. Actually, yes, this was my first attempt. So, I had made up my mind to appear in the civil services examination back in 2007 and 8 itself. In a camp where I got to meet a lot of civil servants who were IAS, IFS serving, and then I was able to relate to how well they were able to contribute to the society. So that was the first time when my mind was diverted towards the civil services examination, and I started preparing a little bit of it in 2007-8 itself. I used to read newspapers. Then I started serious preparations for this exams in 2016 end. So 2017 was my first attempt. So I did a rigorous preparation for that 1 year span.
Okay.
And it was more it was towards self studies. I refer to internet sources and the interviews of the toppers who were appearing in the earlier years. So coaching was not exactly my first option.
Perfect. So it's more of self-preparation that you did.
Yes.
Great. So can you tell us a little bit more, Shivani, about what was your major preparation strategy that you took, the time that you gave in, the topics that you focused, just a bit about your strategy.
As far as the strategy is concerned, I think as we all know that optional holds a good percentage of total marks in the mains examination. As I am a chartered accountant already, so my optional subject was commerce only. So this was the main focus area of my preparation. Other than that, essay writing and ethics are the two other subjects where we can get good marks in the overall mains marks preparation. So in the initial 4-5 months of my preparation, I was focusing on prelims, where I prepared according to the current affairs. I refer to the monthly magazines of some good references and institutes. Then parallel to that, I refer to the standard books that were recommended by most of the toppers. So where I started was I was clearly sure about one thing, that I was supposed to plan first and then only implement it. So I planned for it. I saw the interviews of a lot of aspirants, lot of successful candidates, and I made a strategy out of that, where the common points were like the common books that all of them were referring, the common things that they were saying. So I knew that I was supposed to focus more on revision than on gathering a lot of material. So there is one problem with this whole examination preparation that the candidates face is that they get distracted. They are not confident of the strategies that they are following. So my strategy was I picked up only one source of material for one particular topic or subject, and then I had the tendency to revise it n number of times. So that is, I think, that helped me succeed in this examination. I had a lot of friends who were referring to 2, 3, 4 materials for one particular topic, and then they were getting confused at the end of the day regarding which final material to choose or where to revise from. So I think that was the major focus of my strategy.
Perfect. So that means you paid more attention to the quality instead of quantity.
Exactly.
Perfect. So you mentioned, Shivani, that there was some, you heard from the past toppers as well that there were some of these common books and resources. Could you name a few that, really helped you?
Yes, there are certain books like for polity that we have in both prelims and mains. I referred the book by Mr. Lakshmi Kant. So that is like the Bible of polity, as everybody has told. We all also know that if you have a good command over this book, your polity subject is completely covered. Likewise, for history, I referred Spectrum by Mr. Rajiv Vahis. And then I had also covered one more book, but I did not follow it in the final preparation, so I would not mention about this book. For economics, I did not go through any particular book, though I read the book by Mr. Ramesh Singh in the initial phase of my preparation. I gave two readings of that particular book, made some notes of it, but mostly for economic subject, that is GS3, I refer to the current affairs materials more. And then the Hindu newspaper, it is like the very breadth of this whole examination. You have to cover it anyhow. You have to keep time for Hindu in your daily routine. So that is what is the most important thing in the whole preparation.
Great, great. That was really helpful. So, Shivani, you mentioned that your optional was commerce.
Yeah.
Could you give us a bit more information as to how did you prepare for the commerce optional?
Okay, so as we know that optional subject has two parts, part 1 and part 2. So in commerce optional, part 1 covered the practical aspects of it. There were 4 subjects in the part 1. They were accounting, costing, financials, financial management, and auditing and taxation. So most of the preparation I had already done in the CA final preparation itself. So that was very helpful for me because the foundation was already built during my CA final preparation. So that was helpful. So I refer to the Rankers Institute material for part 1 and part 2. Part 2 is basically based on the theory aspects. So that is like organization behavior, organization theory. In these particular subjects, I tried to implement whatever I had learned in my practical experiences of my current job there. So that was very helpful. And there also I refer to the Rankers Institute material. That was for the preparation part. I stressed a lot on the this mock tests. So I gave like 10 to 15 mock tests before appearing in the final examination, means examination. That was really helpful.
Okay, so you mean like the test series and all. So you say that
Yeah.
is also important for aspirants, right?
That is very important. That is something like you will prepare. It will be covering the 60% of the whole preparation, but the 40% stress should be given to the mock test, whether it is prelims examination, means examination, or the interview stage of the overall civil services examination.
Perfect. So that gives
Yeah.
quite a lot of information. So also,
Yeah.
could you tell us like some tips, especially for the aspirants for this year, any tips that you would give for their preparation in these last few days?
Okay. Actually, I would like to summarize what I have already told. First is don't focus on a lot of material for one particular subject or topic. Be confident about the subject or the standard book or whatever reference material that you have chosen and stick to it. Try to revise it as many times as you can. It could be 5 times, 6 times, 10 times, 15 times, because revision is going to be the main aspect that will sail you through this examination. And then don't ever leave your mock tests, because I had a lot of friends around me who were not that serious about their mock tests that they were giving during their preparation. So mock interviews or mock tests are very important because they help you handle the final examination pressure. Because if you give them in discipline, then those will be really helpful when you appear for the final examination to handle the kind of stress that you will be having over there. And third is just be confident about it. There is nothing like that only a topper can crack the civil services examination. It is an exam which requires the broader knowledge of all the aspects, and everyone can do it. It just needs the hard work and perseverance and consistency. If you are studying for 10 hours a day, that is fine, but maintain that consistency. You should not leave it in between and just feel like that it is not happening and I'm not able to do it. Just don't think that way. It is completely possible to crack this examination in the first attempt. As I have cracked it, you can also crack it.
Well, that's really good. I'm sure it's going to be very motivating to all the aspirants there. Moving on from that, just wanted to know, a lot of our learners always ask, is it better to do self-study or group study? What would you say about that?
Actually, I've never gone for group study, so I cannot exactly comment on how the experiences of other people are. I've always been someone who always supports self-study. Because as far as I am concerned, I am not able to study even if one person is sitting in front of me or in my room. I have that tendency to sit in a closed room and in that proper environment where there is no distraction and no one to talk to. So it is totally a choice that an individual has to make. But I think if you can study in closed room environment, or if it, my personal opinion is it is better to study on your own, because when we are sitting in a group of friends, there are always distraction. You might come across something or the other that you might want to share with your friends. So I don't think group study is going to be that successful of an option.
Perfect. That's great. So, Shivani, also tell me now, moving on to the main stage, if you were to, just give a few tips there as well, how do you think aspirants can improve their essay writing, and score better?
Okay. Essay writing is one particular area of the whole civil service examination that is covered by the preparation of other subjects. So if you have gathered a lot of knowledge by preparing for GS 1 to GS 4, you have already covered a lot of content that you are going to write in the essay. Uh, so one can do this. One can refer to the essays written by the toppers in the past. One can go through how the essays to be written, and then one can go for to a couple of mock tests for the essay writing, so that one can improve wherever the weaknesses are lying. So one can practice essay writing in a examination environment. One should be writing like 5-10 essays before appearing in the final examination itself. So that would be very helpful to improve the essay writing skills.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yes.
So now moving on, after the mains obviously comes the very expected interview round.
Yeah.
Could you tell, like, for our aspirants, like, how should they be preparing for this interview round? And also, like,
Okay.
if you could just share, what were the kind of questions you were asked, so that the
Okay.
aspirants could have a better idea.
First, I'll discuss about the preparation strategy for the interview round.
Perfect.
So there is a bit of difference between the preparation of mains and preparation of interview, because mains is more about theoretical knowledge and you have to write whatever you know in those 3 hours. But interview is not a test of your theoretical knowledge, because that has already been judged in the mains exam and prelims examination. So it is a test of your personality. How well are you able to carry yourself? How well are you able to handle the stress that are coming across your situation? So you might be judged on the basis of a lot of situations that could be given to you in an interview environment, and they just try to understand your personality in an overall aspect, whether you are a person who gets stressed easily or you are a confident person, whether you are a decision maker or you get confused when choice and opinion is required to be formed on a particular question or a particular, whatever is happening around. So interview is all about your opinion, what you think, what you feel, and how you can project yourself best. So just you don't need to study so much for the interview. It is just stay calm, keep on smiling, and be confident. That's all what they want to see in a future civil servant. So that is about how you should appear and prepare for the interview. And the second aspect about how my interview was. So I was interviewed by Mr. Arvind Saxena board, and as I'm a chartered accountant, so a lot of questions were asked about the PNB scam that happened recently during my interview phase. And I was asked how CAs were involved in all the fraudulent transactions that were being conducted in the, PNB scam. So I was asked to justify the overall CA fraternity position as a whole, as they were indulged and they were so much into illegal activities and stuff. So one aspect, and then a lot of questions on Indian economy, comparison between Indian economy and US economy were asked from me. Then lot of questions on international relation, Russian-Indian relation, Canadian Prime Minister's visit to India, Khalistan issues. So a lot of international relation questions and my job profile questions were asked from me. That was all about my interview experience, and they were quite satisfied with my overall performance in the interview. As my board chairman, Mr. Arvind Saxena, he also appreciated a lot of answers that I gave during my interview. So overall, it was a very good experience.
That is great, and obviously with the results coming out, we can understand why you did so well. So just before trying to put on one last question to you, Shivani, as you mentioned in the beginning that you did refer to a lot of online resources also, and Unacademy as a platform is also an online resource, right? So what are your thoughts about preparing for aspirants preparing through online resources for such exams?
Yeah, I would have, when you mentioned about the online resources, so as far as Unacademy is concerned, I would definitely like to make a mention of a particular course that is being made by Roman Seni. He puts 10 questions every day on the basis of the current news of the day that could be asked in the prelims examination. So there is a video of 6 to 10 minutes that is live streamed by Roman Seni every day. So that was one source of material I cannot stress upon enough that how helpful it was to me, because it gave me so much confidence. In 30 days, I was able to cover 300 different questions and topics that were covered here and there in either mock interview or my final test. So that was very, very helpful to me in this. And then I also refer to some videos on history. That was I sorry, I'm not able to remember the name of the tutor who represented those videos. So overall, online material and resources were very helpful to me in the overall preparation.
Perfect. That was really helpful, Shivani. And these are all the questions that we had for now. Thank you so much, Shivani, for giving your time and sharing all these details, which I'm sure will be very useful for all the learners and aspirants.
Sure.
Great speaking to you, Shivani, and have a good day.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.